What's going on? It's your boy Palien Vasion. This is another episode of SpacePodTV. I'm here with the one and only Dizzy D.
Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Dizzy.
Yeah. So Dizzy, man, give him a little backstory on what you do and what you be about.
Man, me and what I be about, shit. First of all, I was born and raised in Fargo, North Dakota.
All right.
I spent most of my life in this motherfucker.
Word.
Got lots of trouble when I was a minor. I'm talking about lots and lots of trouble.
Okay.
Got my first charge when I was in like 3rd grade for stealing like $1,000 worth of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yo, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh though. Come on, man. Shit, I'd be tempted too.
That's what I'm saying, you know? So,
oh my God. Did you at least get some good ones?
I mean, honestly, I don't even remember at the time because there was this older cat that was trying to convince me to do it, and he didn't have pockets on him at the time, so he just went in the bathroom, opened them all up, and then stuck them in my pockets, and I got in trouble for the shit. But
would you go to like Target, Walmart, some shit like
Toys R Us.
Oh, damn. Toys R Us used to have this shit, though.
Right. I'm saying.
God damn. Toys R Us used to be the plug, man, when it came for that kind of shit, you know?
Shit, people don't even know about that no more.
Right? Yeah, like, you remember when they had, like, Yu-Gi-Oh leagues and shit over there?
Oh, yeah. They still got all that shit. Still got tournaments.
Whatever happened?
Except they transferred it over to, like, Big Nick's in the mall now and shit.
Whatever happened to Toys R Us?
I want to say Amazon shut them down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, online
probably.
kind of killed it. America kind of got lazy and, like, preferred ordering stuff to their door instead of going out and checking
Radio
out
Shack,
clothes.
too.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I heard, though? I heard that they were going to be replacing Toys R Us with KB Toys, motherfucker.
Hey, I did hear that.
Yeah, that's just going to be crazy.
KB was lit.
Shit.
Yo, yeah, for real. Yo, like this video if you know about KB Toys, man. That shit go way back. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. All right, so you were out there doing your thing as a 3rd grader, getting them Pokemon cards for the low. All right, bet. So what else were you doing?
Honestly, it kind of just started down spiraling from there. I only got into worse and worse trouble, and by the time I was 14, 15, I ended up getting transferred over to DJS, which means basically the state owned me. My mom had to pay child support to the state for me.
God damn.
Yeah, and what had happened was I'd gotten my 6th gun charge, and it actually made the news. I was 14, and me and my homeboy car hopped. We were car hopping, and we found a 44 Magnum.
God damn.
Yeah, big-ass motherfucker, chrome. And I'd skipped school that day, and we came back, and we were all checking it out, looking at it, and I was on top of everybody with that because I don't play with guns and shit, so you know what I'm saying? It was locked away in my top dresser drawer, and nobody played with it, nothing.
Right.
And then my brother, Chuck, who's also a rapper.
Oh, Chucky?
Yes, sir.
Yo, shout out Chucky. We love Chucky.
Love you, bro.
You talking about Chucky the rapper?
Yes, sir.
Love that
yes,
kid.
Yes.
But
Know the man.
he would definitely remember this day out of anybody, but he came home. And we was all like, hey, bro, look at what we found. You know, me and my homeboy was showing him that we found that gun. He was like, y'all stupid, da-da-da-da-da. And still to this day, man, some voodoo shit, some ghost shit. I don't know, call it what you want, but I don't know how it happened. It was the craziest thing ever, you know. And this is the Python edition, so, you know, it only has 5 rounds in it, not the 6th round.
Okay.
And my homeboy sat there, flipped it open, spun the barrel. There was nothing in that motherfucker. On everything, there was nothing in it. And then he's sitting there, and he's playing with it. He takes it, and he's all like, man, this gun makes you feel, you know, just powerful. And I'm like, yeah, bro, for sure. And then he's all like, hey, Dizzy. And I'm like, what? And he looks at me, and he goes, and he dry fires the motherfucker. And I was like, bro, don't ever. I was like,
damn.
even though we both looked both looked in it, and it was empty. I was like, bro, you know, don't ever play games like that. Like, you ever aim gun at me, you know, that's how shit happens. And anyways, he's like, why are you pussy? And he puts the gun in his mouth, and he goes, dry fires again. And I'm like, man, you fucking crazy. And then he aims it at me again, goes click. And I was like, bro, I'm not playing, dog. I don't give a shit if it's a squirt gun. Don't aim guns at me. That's how shit happens. And he's like, man, you a fucking pussy. And he aims it at his head, and he goes click. Now, you know, that's me, him. And then all of a sudden, he sets the gun down, he goes, and he starts fucking with a lock-picking kit we had found, and I'm sitting there, and I'm right-handed, and I pick it up with my left hand, and I'm just like, God damn, like, this motherfucker makes you feel powerful. I'm aiming at the wall, and all of a sudden, bang, bang, boom! And I'm just sitting there, ring, and my boy's yelling my name, like, Dylan, Dylan. And I hear my name come back into conscious, and I snap out of it, and I'm like, what? And I feel something running down my face, and I'm like, oh, shit. And I get up, go look, and the pin had jabbed into the top of my eyebrow right above my left eye, and that's why right here where my scar is, my eyebrow don't grow back anymore, but it had jabbed into my eye and gouged out. There's even a chunk in my eyebrow. It took out a chunk of my eye and shit, and it looked like a ping pong ball was above my eye and swollen. But you know, yeah, and that crazy shit didn't even hit me until I was like 18, 19, retelling the story to somebody, and then I just broke down crying. But still that day I was just like, Chuck, that was kind of when we stopped talking for a little while, because he was like, man, you're fucking crazy. He's all like, bro, I love you, but you know, every day I don't know if I'm going to wake up and get a phone call and say my brother's dead or what, you know, like, you got to chill. And I was just like, whatever, you know, not thinking anything of it. But
yeah, with them guns, it's like even the smallest thing could be for life.
Yeah.
Or take one.
Nowadays, I have 2 homies in the Fargo-Moorhead area that have lost their lives to playing with guns. So, you know, it's no joke. But
real talk.
After that moment, then freaking I was kind of wanted, and I went on the run for a while, and then I got caught, and I got sent to Home on the Range, which is 10 miles from the Montana border. I got I got sent there for 2.5 years, and that place kind of made me a man. It kind of changed me. You know, that was the furthest I'd ever been away from home at the time, and it's like opposite side of the world and shit like that. But that place kind of shaped me up, made me a man, and I spent 2 years out there, and then I got out, and I was on an ankle bracelet and house arrest for 18 months, and then the whole time I was on that, I kind of sat there, and I'm all like, man, that was my last straw. You know, my childhood record, I have 47 plus charges, and like,
damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
A rap sheet led to a rap sheet. You feel me?
Hey, no lie, because I'm sitting there and I was like, man, I don't want to keep getting in trouble. Like, I'm tired of this lifestyle. I want to change my life, but you know, and I'm sitting there wondering what I can do, and freaking, I was on house arrest at the time, and I told him I'd walk home from school, so I had like an extra hour or 2 after school. And I found out, I'm like, what can I do for positivity in this area? Something. And Brody Gray at the time, me and him went to high school together, and I heard about he was rapping. And I was like, what? Everybody rapping? Like, bunch of white people rapping? Shit, I can rap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I got this.
You knew you had it in you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was within the DNA, man. The DNA. Kendrick Lamar style.
And growing up, me and Chuck, we were kind of the only 2 colored fellows in our squad, you know, 2 white for the black kids, 2 black for the white kids.
That's real shit.
Yeah.
But we were always rapping, always spitting flows since like 9 or 10, and then this opportunity came, and I was all like, well, shit, where's the studio at? And I found out Austin Coast had a studio at his crib, so...
Yeah, shout out Coast.
Hey, and during my extra hour I had after school, I would cut class, my 8th or 9th period, and I'd hop on a bus, or I'd run... run all the way to Coast. He lived a couple blocks away from school, and then I was like, found out where to get my way in, started making half a track, and then freaking I came back the next day, and Brody all told me about this show they were doing in Fergus Falls at the Z103.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Big Mike was hosting it or performing at the time. I had no idea who any of these cats were, but I was just thankful to be in a positive environment or have a positive outlook, you know, instead of going back to what I knew.
Yeah, and a positive outlet, too.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
You know?
And then from that moment, I came back to the studio the next day.
Up in the studio.
They told me about the show, and I only had half a track. I had maybe a verse and like 2 hooks, and then they were like, yeah, the show's in like a day or 2. So I was like, all right, Coast, let's bust this out. Busted out my first track. Absolute garbage. You know, it didn't even make sense, but like every great artist is this. But
hey, we just want that shit to rhyme, right?
Right.
That's
that's the important of it. And yeah, like I said, we hurry up, rush that track, and then I went all the way to Fergus, did a track, and then Big Mike told me about artist audition Waka Flocka competition. They were doing.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
So you were traveling with this. To even get started, you were traveling.
Oh yeah. I was still on house arrest and everything. Lied to my DJS worker, said I was going out of town with family and shit, so I could go all the way to Fergus, perform 1 track, and then come back. But I did.
Dedication.
And then he told me about the Waka Flocka comp, and it was like $300 to enter, and I had like 17 days, and I was like, fuck it, you know, this is my big shot, I'm gonna do it. And I was good, finally got off my ankle bracelet, and my mom helped me out. She gave me the money for it and shit like that, and I went. And there was like 9 different crews, and out of 9 different groups, I was the only one that performed solo, and I was the only one that was a minor. Plus, I had to go first, so it was whatever. But I made 3 tracks, tried to do, you know, a dope track like a club banger, and tried to do another like girly one. I had my ex on the hook, tried to do something for everybody, but we only got to do 3 tracks, and I rushed those 3 in the 2 weeks we had, and I made them, and then. After the show, I didn't win. LDB and Brody ended up winning, but I didn't win. And Big Mike's DJ at the time of Whodunit Entertainment, his name was Cuban Black.
Yep.
He was like, "Hey man, it took a lot of courage. You're only 16, and you had to go first, and you opened up by yourself. You know, all these other crews got people." He was all like, "How would you like to join Whodunit?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm down." And then the next month after that,
the beginning.
Yeah,
there it is. Here it comes.
My 3rd show I ever did, you know, and a lot of rappers or people up and coming would hate me for how I got my started, but 3rd show I ever did, I was 17, and we packed 13 people in a 9-seater minivan and drove 29 hours all the way down to ATL, and my 3rd show I ever did was in ATL outside with OJ the Juice Man and Shop Boys in front of 7,000 people.
Let them know.
I fucking heard about that shit too. You were talking about that shit on Facebook. I was like, what?
Yeah. You know, I was, like I said, I was only 17 at the time, and me and Brody, we were a part of the squad. We were supposed to be another branch of Whodunit, but we drove all that way. And I'm saying, like, me and Coast and Brody had to sit back to back on the van floor, you know, and alternate, like, and 29 hours straight in that bitch. But we did all that just to do one song. Me and Brody had one song, and we went all the way down there and did that. And then,
fucking dedication, man.
But I mean, after that, it took flight. Like, next show we were doing, going on tour with DJ Onk, and just from there it kind of took off. And
what was that song he had?
Walk It Out, Hit the Dance Floor.
Walk It Out, Walk It. That was hot around time of Shoulder Lean too.
Yeah. And
not same person, but you know what I mean.
Right. And from that moment on, it kind of just took off, and then I never stopped, and shows kept getting bigger and bigger, and my tracks kept getting better and better, and I was getting a good response, and, you know, I was staying out of trouble and shit like that, and it was a good outlet, and I couldn't stop. And thankfully, you know, now here I am. I'm 23 now, and I have a clean record. I haven't been in trouble with the law since I got out of Home on the Range, thanks to music.
Nice.
So, you know, in a way,
Yo, give it up. Music out here saving lives. You know what I'm saying?
In a way, you know, music literally saved my life. It got me out of that craziness. And now, here I am sitting, you know, young 20s, and most of my friends and people like that I know all got felonies. They're all wrapped up in something, some shit like that.
Right.
I already got all that out of my system, out of my way. And now I'm trying to take all that craziness that I was into. I was so honed, you know. My number one goal as a kid, I tell my mom all the time, when I grow up, I want to be a gangster. You know, I was obsessed with that, you know, like
G'd up from the feet up.
Beyond the point, and you know, like she'd even say, like, show me videos of kids getting like murdered, or like videos of that, and I'd be all, you know, like, she'd be all like, look at that. Do you want that to happen? I'd be like, shit, the only reason they died is because they pussy asses didn't upgrade to fully automatic.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like 9 years old.
Sweepers.
9 years old saying this stuff, and I was obsessed with that lifestyle, and then spent my whole life wrapped up in it, you know.
I mean, there's only 2 ways out, really, right?
Right. You know, that's what people say all the time. There's only 2 ways out of the game, and it's in a box or in a cell, and I spent more than enough time in a cell to know that I ain't trying to be in a box. So
right.
Feel you, man. But the music came through, man, and yeah, we love it, man. Oh my God, you know, that'd be a good name for a song, man. You know, Out of My System.
Hey, for real.
Yeah. Speaking of that, how many songs have you had that were inspired by like what you know, your life experiences and all the bullshit you went through and all that stuff like that?
Well, every single one of my tracks are all like real shit, true shit. I don't rap about anything that I ain't doing or ain't done. You know, you'll never hear me rapping about pulling up in a Bugatti or something like that.
Right.
But I mean,
yeah, we talk about that too. That people can pull your card on anything you say, and that's why I love this SpacePod thing, because we're finding all the real ones.
Hey,
Yeah.
true.
Dizzy D.
Getting the real story, getting the real scoop. You heard it first here on SpacePodTV, man. The story of Dizzy D, exclusively on SpacePodTV.
You know, now I want to get back to the music, because it's music you have done and music you got coming up, right? You must have some plans. You doing shows. I mean, you kind of doing, you know, you stay busy, you stay active with this music shit.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I was saying, when I was with Whodunit and stuff like that, we were going on tours every other month. It kept getting like bigger and bigger. I've done multiple city tours with DJ Unk. I've sat down and had barbecues with DJ Unk. You know, I chilled, smoked blunts with Gorilla Zoe.
Yo, shout out Gorilla, man. I remember we went to the. You remember when he came to Geo's that one time?
Yeah, Whodunit brought him.
He was at the mall with Big Mike and all them.
Yep. That was when we brought him here and shit like that.
Dude, were you there when he was doing that shopping for his ladies and he went into the Victoria's Secret and bought like 50 pairs of underwear?
Favorite stories of all time.
He's like, that's for my bitches. It's like, oh my God.
Hey.
Like all 50s for a different one?
I don't know, man, but
you told me it was.
He was, I don't know, the chicks there were just like, he had like the whole store department helping him get all these things ready and shit at Victoria's.
I need one with the lace. I need the see-through. I need the blacks and the whites.
It was funny. They were kind of wondering like, what is this guy doing right now?
Yeah, that was crazy too, man. Like when we brought him in the mall and shit, like we had it all over Facebook Live. Like nobody knew who the hell he was. Everybody was like walking past us in the mall, like who the fuck is that? And I'm all like, how the hell don't you know who Zoe is? He has the big, you know, gorilla chain on and everything. He has his spike band. Like, what the hell is wrong with y'all?
He definitely ain't trying to blend in. Like, he's trying to stand the fuck out.
Right.
I remember that spiky ass motherfucking diamond chain or diamond bracelet he had. That was intimidating. I was like, whoa, dude, I don't want to get near that thing.
Some Gucci or something.
I actually found out that is his own custom bracelet. He is the only one that has that spike band bracelet, and it's about like 40, 50K.
I wonder if that was Jacob the jeweler hooked him up on that one. Yeah. But yeah, I feel you, man. You got to stand out. What's the point of blending in all the time, right?
Right.
Dizzy, I know you know about this.
Shit, I stand out like...
he got his own swag over here.
Y'all don't even know. Like, when you see him at a show, you ain't going to see nobody else looking like Dizzy D.
Hell no. That's how I got to be, you know. And not necessarily because I'm an attention grabber or, you know, I got to be the center of attention.
Nothing like that.
I more or less do it. I dress, you know, last show we did, I'm rocking Rasta colored cowboy boots. I got...
who's doing that?
I got we were wearing the same pants,
Yeah, cargo pants that are like blue, orange, green, yellow. Like, I'm rocking all kinds of
shit. You had the Bob Marley, you know, like, bandana on.
Yeah, and I do all that.
Yeah.
To show people, you know, like people be asking all the time, like, man, do you look at yourself before you go out? And I'm all like, hell no. I'm all like, man, I go out there and I look as oddball as I possibly can to show motherfuckers like, hey, it doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, or what you're doing. If you come out and you own that shit, you look like a boss, you're bringing it, you're going to rock it, you know, and it doesn't matter how weird, if you mess up or how you're looking, you know, I do that to show people like, hey, look at my goofy ass. And then I hit the stage and I kill it and people are like, whoa. Wait a minute, you know, like I totally underestimated this goofy ass person, but I do that, you know, necessarily for everybody else to give them, you know, kind of like inspiration.
Right, and you got a few trademarks, man. Like, I mean, I don't want to get no panties too wet or nothing, but on stage you happen to lose a few articles of clothing, do you not?
Yeah, I'm most definitely known for that. I got a track called Sex Noise, and
Sex
that
Noise.
shit was actually playing in my head while we started this interview. I was like, I remember that motherfucking track.
Sex Noise.
That was probably like my first biggest hit I ever did, and it's all about sex and crazy track.
Sex
Noise. Yeah.
Sex. No.
I love that track. When I first started doing it and stuff like that, you know, we were doing all these shows, all these tours, and I was only a minor at the time, but we were doing all 21 plus shows, so none of these girls grabbing on me and stuff like that had any idea, but I started doing like Sex Noise and, you know, to like get attention and stuff. Every single one of my shirts, I ripped my shirt off down the middle, you know, swing it around, get the girls hyped up, throw it at the girls, and then I'd go and find like the baddest girl in the crowd or something like that, and I'd find a chair and I'd pull her down and sit her down, give her a lap dance. You know? Yeah,
be on the lookout for that. You need to come out to a live Dizzy show. That's all I'm saying, people.
Shit.
I'm telling you, that's like, I don't turn down for nothing. Even
turn down for what?
We did a show with Huey, Mr. Pop Lock and Drop It. We did it with him in Grand Forks, and he walked in during my set, and he came on during Sex Noise, and like the floor kind of emptied. Everybody went to VIP, and I look at my DJ kind of like, what the hell? And I threw down my mic, and there was these like table full of like, I don't know, grandma gilfs looking, you know, like like
the gilf section.
Oh, wow, I haven't heard that in a minute.
Hotter older moms, whatever you want to call it, but they were just
cougars,
sitting there,
man, some straight cougars.
Yeah, they were just sitting there.
They was ready. Somebody getting pregnant. That's all I know. Somebody getting pregnant. Fine ass.
They were just sitting there chopping it up amongst each other, and I was getting ignored, and I ran down, threw the mic down, and I jumped right on their table, and I grabbed one of their heads, and I put it all up on my abs and everything, and just grinded all in her face.
Magic Mike triple XL over here.
You know, like,
what?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody ain't paying attention to me or something, you know, I'll make you pay attention. You know, I'll give you something to look at or something like that. But
yeah, and it's about the music too. This ain't all the show. Like, you go above and beyond, and with the music, you know, you got a love for this. Like, it's beyond the show. It's really about the music, though, right?
Oh yeah, man. That's essentially like when I started. You know, it was just to get in a better environment, get around more positivity, get my head out of something. But then once I started like getting a crowd reaction and
it feels good.
The response, and like, you know, people were just telling me keep going, and then like once we started doing bigger shows, I had bigger artists wanting to collab with me and shit like that. The year Whodunit broke up, I was supposed to go and sign with DJ Unk label and shit like that, but
damn.
Yeah, I was only 19.
That's what's up.
I was only 19 at the time, but my dumbass, you know, I was all caught up in drugs and shit like that, and freaking I was like, I'm hot shit. I'm only 19, you know, I can take a little bit of time off, come back and kill it again, and that's not necessarily what happened. I know, like you were saying, I was staying busy with the music, and I actually took a few years off. When I was like 20, I ended up having my son.
I was gonna say you had some life things happening.
Yeah.
You know, some real stuff.
I had my son when I was 20, and my BM dipped out when he was like 3 months old. So
damn,
I've been raising him by myself ever since then.
Yo, shout out to the single fathers out there.
Hey,
don't get enough damn credit.
Holding it down.
Yeah, man. And
so, you know, that's respect, man.
That's really a huge, struggle, I guess, especially in this area, especially as an artist. There's not a whole lot of rappers in the area that have kids. I mean, there's a select handful, but not everybody does. So, you know, having to like cancel studio time or not being able to make it to a show, etc., because I can't find a babysitter or something like that. You know, those are little struggles people don't understand and shit. And then I got a lot of people like, oh, you ain't dedicated to the music, you ain't about it, da-da-da. And it's like, hey, man, it's hard to be dedicated to a dream that's a hobby when I got a mouth to feed, you know?
Yeah, right.
Because that's first and foremost. It just has to be.
Exactly.
You're trying to keep another human alive, you know?
Yeah, and that's...
How you keep another human alive? You got to feed them, you know? You got to put a roof over their head. That's really what's gangster. Everybody's like, yo, what's gangster? You want to know what's gangster? Keeping electricity on in your house is gangster. Putting food on the table is gangster.
Yeah, being there for your kids.
Yeah, being real, being honest, you know?
Yeah, and that's, you know, messages like that are more or less what I'm trying to bring about with my music and stuff like that, you know, like me being so hooked and so asphyxiated on a way of life that I went through and now I learned and I want to share to other people, you know, like gangster life is not fun. It ain't cool. It is not easy, you know. It's not something I would or suggest anybody to get into, you know. We got all this music and bigger rappers nowadays, like, promoting that shit, and I'm all like, man, nah, drugs, I done did every drug in the book before I was 18. Like,
I mean, you want to get lit or whatever, but just know there's probably not a good ending to all that, you know? Like, people take it too far. You can take anything too far.
Yeah, most definitely. And, you know, the struggle of addiction is no joke, you know. That's something very few people understand when they getting into that world, are like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna pop a molly, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my fun, you know. But then they can't. Then they gotta do it.
Right. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand, you know.
You know.
But
yeah, so you know, you live that. So through your music, what are you trying to convey these days? You know, like, I mean, you speak on what you've lived through and your struggles. Is any other topics you're trying to touch on that you really want to get across to people?
There is a lot of topics I haven't touched on. I haven't, you know, made a song for it yet, or necessarily, but I mean, especially in this area, being born and raised in this area, in this community, there's a lot that goes unnoticed and unchecked that people don't know.
Touch on it, yeah.
You know, like addiction and suicide. You know, that's
a big one.
That's something that I'm very profound on, or huge with, is because, you know, I struggled with depression my whole life, and I've had a couple friends I've lost to suicide. So I mean, shit like that ain't no joke, and depression is on the rise. Suicide rate has actually increased like 20-30% in the past couple of years. The drug and crime rate has also increased, you know, like 30-40% in the past couple of years, and I think a lot of that has to do with, people don't realize, Fargo Moorhead, you know, it's so damn cold so many months out of the year, like, you don't want to do shit, you know.
Right.
People don't understand that. Like, I've talked with a lot of other artists or labels from other cities and bigger areas, and when you say you're from Fargo, people think we got it good out here. People think we got it easy, and I'm like, motherfucker, do you understand the pain of, you know, like, not wanting to go outside to go get groceries for your family because it is so motherfucking cold? You're gonna hurt. You're gonna feel that in your bones, like, you know. Or people don't understand the struggle. Oh, hey, yeah, I got a job, but guess what? You got to get up 3 hours early to scrape your freaking windows to shovel your damn car out, you know. And before you go to bed, you better check the dang weather, because if you don't, well, guess what? We had a blizzard in the middle of the night. Now your freaking car snowed in. You know, now how you gonna get to work to pay them bills? But like struggles like that and shit, and people don't understand. But I think a lot of the depression and suicide and stuff like that in the area is because it is so cold so many months out of the year, and then the other months of the year there's nothing to do, you know. There isn't no positive outlets, or, you know, like, there's stuff to do for 21-year-olds, sure, but I mean, you know, getting into trouble and addiction and stuff like that happens way earlier. You know, what about the teens? You know, there's no positive outlets for kids or teenagers to go to. You know, there's no programs that are like,
we need more arcades, man. You know, we need something.
For real.
Where's the Pirates Den at, man? Come on.
Pirates Den.
Or Drivers.
Hey, Drivers. Ain't nobody know about Drivers, man. They had a laser tag field. They had go-karts.
Laser tag is fire.
Indoor go-karts.
Yeah, indoor
go-karts.
Went
up to the fucking ceiling and down like a goddamn hill.
Yeah. It used to be in that strip mall on 45th.
Like, there's a way to do this shit, and you make you make turn-up music too, right? Like, a lot of your music bumps feels like you should be able to dance to.
Oh, yeah. I do a lot of, you know, hype music or party music or stuff like that, you know, even my ambiance, you know.
Feel-good music, really.
Yeah, and that's because, you know, a lot of rappers, when they become a rapper or whatnot, they have a persona, an alter ego. Dizzy D is not my persona. It's not my alter ego. Being dizzy is a mindset, you know, and that's like in all my music, you know, when I rap, you don't even think it's me, because I'm like, yeah, it's your boy, Dizzy D, you know. I make my voice sound hype, cocky, arrogant, because, you know, Dizzy is essentially, it's the party, sex, drug, crazy animal everybody wants to be, but we can't necessarily be all the time. So me,
let them know.
I take my craziness and I convert it into music, so that way, you know, that's how I get my outlet out. That's where my gangster comes out, or that's where my hypeness comes out, and it's my music.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's all about people trying to connect with people. So if, like, they hear that type of shit and that's what they secretly want to do, but they don't want to actually do it, man, they can live through your music.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
So, and that's really what music is in general. Like, they're living through other people's music, you know? Yeah. So, I feel you on that.
I definitely do a lot of that in my own personal time. Like I said, you know, being as I have that gangster mentality always in the back of me, but, you know, a lot of the music I listen to in my downtime is like Denzel Curry, or, you know.
He on the come up.
Yeah, turn up.
Or Key Glock, or, you know.
Denzel on the come up. Who else? Dave East. You know, he coming up. A lot of them dudes are getting a lot of attention now, and they putting out better product than they have. Like, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's like, yo, man, Denzel Curry kind of fell off on that last album. I wasn't feeling it. But then this new album came out, and, like, it's like super, it's got the turn up beats, and it's like conscious, almost like lyrical sometimes.
I loved his Taboo album. It was absolutely phenomenal. I loved the heck out of that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So they doing it, man. And that's a West Coast rapper, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of my downtime I listen to that hype or, you know, savage stuff. But like you were saying, through living through music and stuff like that, that's definitely where I try to connect. Like I don't make music for me. I make music for other people. Even when I'm making a hook or something like that, I'll try to make it as relatable or true to my situation or my stories as possible.
Right.
But if it sounds better or the message comes across better in a different way, I'll change it simply for the audience of how they're going to interpret it and understand it, because I want them to understand it.
Yeah, you want to reach the collective with what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of my most connectable songs, I'd say, is I actually did a remix to Taylor Swift's Blank Space.
Mm-hmm.
It is...
Yeah, you just performed that.
Yeah, yep.
I remember seeing that.
I made that song years ago, and it was during one of my darkest times. It was right away when my BM had dipped out on us, and I was thinking about going off the wall and saying goodbye to my son and shit like that, and doing something dumb. And
but you didn't, though.
No, I did not. But I was just getting to that dark point, and like felt like giving up, and I thought that was a better route for my son. And then all of a sudden, Taylor Swift's Blank Space came on. And, I was sitting there and I was like, man, this chick always be going off about her damn exes. What about a man's point of view? What about a man's perspective?
Yeah,
men feel pain too. And then I just looked up the instrumental for that, and bam. And then I came out with my remix, which is called FDB, I Be Okay. Fuck that bitch. And
okay.
I remember that. Everybody out there talking about, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
And oh my God.
It's...
that's how you was feeling. So, the dudes was getting down with it too,
Right. And every time I perform that, it's most popular amongst lesbians. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of lesbian friends that they go through breakups or something. They ask me, "What's that song you got? What's that song?" And
see, that's your niche market right there. You know what I'm saying? You touched them with that song and they felt it.
But one of the most probably best, I don't even know, experiences, memories I have with that song, or touching moment, is there was actually this dude, and I shared a status on Facebook at the time. I was all like, screw Netflix and chilling. I want to know what songs got you through your darkest times in life. And everybody went on there, posted like names of their songs. I went on there, shared one of mine. And then somebody goes on there and they comment and they're like, fuck that bitch. I don't need that shit. I'll be okay. And they were like, your song, bro. And then reading that just gave me the chills and shit like that. And I was like, damn, bro, thank you so much for like saying that. Like, I was thinking about quitting music and everything, and that's all I've ever wanted.
That's how this music is bigger than all of us. Right. Like, it's bigger than hip hop. Real talk. Shout out to D Lepard.
But on the real, than hip
like
hop.
There's so many things. Like, you might have saved somebody's life, or you might have affected. Maybe someone got married to that song. Like met the man in a fit. Was it? But like, it's just crazy because you never know how you're affecting somebody's life with the music you put out, the energy.
Right. And at the time, I was thinking about it. Like, this was actually just last winter, I believe, and I was thinking about like, man, maybe I should give up music, been gone too long. And then he shared that and stuff, and I was like, thank you so much. That's all I've ever wanted to do with my music, was take my experiences and trials and triumphs and share them with everybody, and hope it gets somebody through their dark times. And he was like, nah, for real, bro, I was thinking about committing suicide, and I was sitting there, and he was like, I even took a bunch of oxys and shit like that, and I was sitting in my homeboy's car. And then all of a sudden, your song came on the playlist, and he was like, and I had downloaded it, and I kept repeating it to myself, and he was all like, your song saved my life. And he was like, now I'm with somebody, we're going to be getting engaged soon. And he was like, so thank you for that shit, man. Don't ever stop making music.
Word. We should play a little bit of that song, man, for real, like for the people right now, just so they can hear that. What's kind of one of the songs that maybe that is the song that you're most proud of? Because if that brought you back to music, I mean, I'm sure you've had some other songs you really liked,
I enjoy that song just because of what it is and what it did for me. But to me, the song, man, I do got a handful of songs that I'm proud of, but
oh, for sure. Yeah, you can never pick just one. It's like Pringles, once you get it popping.
Probably the most meaningful song to me ever was my song called Times Are Getting Hard. And I wrote that when I was like 17, and it is the only track I don't have a single swear word in it, and it is like some Slim Shady back in the day shit. And
Word.
It's the most meaningful and touching song to me. There's a verse in there all about my mom and shit like that. And when I'd perform it, my mom would be there. I'd go down in the crowd, give her a kiss on the cheek when I'm saying that part and shit like that. So To me, it's the most meaningful because it gives credit and props to my mom who raised me by herself. So, I mean, that is the most meaningful to me. But
shout out to moms.
Yeah.
Single moms.
They're really making good things happen out here in the world. You know, it ain't easy. Single moms, single dads, you know, but just, man, moms, man, that's love.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my mom will always be my biggest supporter. That is the thing I'll always be thankful for. All the trouble and hell I put her through, and she kept getting me out. And even so much with the music, like all my trips, anytime I needed money or shit like that, I didn't. It wasn't hustled. It wasn't given to me. My mom fucking straight up gave me my money to make my dream a reality. Right. So I will always thank my mom for that.
Yeah. Shout out, Mom.
Hey.
Yep.
Yeah. I like that, man.
But yeah, that's to me, that's probably why that's my most meaningful song. Otherwise, more than that, probably North Dakota Soldier, just because it reps our city where I'm from.
North Dakota Soldier. So many people
shout
out 701 and North Dakota. North Dakota's hot right now. Y'all understand how hot North Dakota is? Like, we got the oil, obviously, but like we got actors coming from here, like making it national. We got so much that comes out of North Dakota. We trying to get recreational cannabis. We setting the bar for a lot of stuff, man. And all the time I'm watching like HBO shows or something on the news, they'll mention North Dakota.
Yeah.
And people act like they don't know about North Dakota, where it's at or what it's doing. Yeah. Man, North Dakota's hot right now and has been for like almost 10 years. They're
gonna start us off as the butt of a joke, but we gonna end being at the top of everything.
Who laughs last?
We still got the best economy in the fucking country, man. Fuck with us.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
By far.
How many people are unemployed in Fargo versus everywhere else in the whole entire fucking country?
Right.
You know, the percentages, that's where you get all the
You could buy
from.
a mansion out here.
Yeah. Yeah, what? Okay, so you go buy a house for $250K here. You buy that same house in Cali, at least $1.2 million.
Oh, yeah.
That's the difference. That's why people be coming here. This economy is so good. How can you get a house that fucking cheap? You know, it's like, dude, come check it out. You know, come shop. You know?
Yeah,
shop around, Right. You know, it ain't a whole bunch of stuff going on all the time, but I mean, you got to make your own entertainment somehow and know how to entertain yourself, you know?
But that being said, with a good economy, it gives you the tools to create the life of your dreams a lot easier.
Yeah.
A lot cheaper, you know?
Just give me a mansion and a four-wheeler in my own lake to fish on and I'm good.
Right? Or build your own studio or whatever you want to do. Right. But I would recommend investing in something that's going to have a return, obviously. Don't just go and blow it on a Ferrari or some shit.
Be some, you know, mainstream rapper, you know, or just never invested. I mean, get some real estate. Right. Get some properties. Start a business.
Like, don't be driving around in a Lambo while you live in the slums or some shit. Trying to flex on people. Because I see there was actually a dude in Fargo that was
driving through the hood in a Mercedes. I got called out for that one time. I didn't even know I was in the hood. I was just driving around.
Oh my God.
And they was like, what you doing coming through here, man? It's all good. I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to be real regardless. So
yeah, just always keep it real above all else, man. You know that. We all know that here, man. We try to keep it as real as possible with all of our guests, you know what I'm saying? And I've been curious, man. What do you have coming up that you want to let the viewers know about? Like, what songs you got? You got any projects coming out? Shows coming up?
I've actually done quite a bit of shows this year, more than I have most recently. I believe y'all were aware or there at the charity show I hosted and arranged back in February.
Yes. Yep. What's the name of that?
When Rap Loves Back.
How was that?
That was big.
That for me, it was everything I needed. Like I said, the beginning of this year, I was thinking about throwing in the towel. You know, I was like, man, I've been away too long. I'm irrelevant, shit like that. And I was all like, hey, what better way to see if you still got it than to host your own show, arrange it, put it together, and da-da-da-da-da. And it blew up way bigger than I expected, or the feedback from it was way more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that was bigger for you than, I even realized,
Yeah, like I was definitely hyped up a bit. There was, a lot of people didn't think it was going to be as big as it was, so there wasn't necessarily 100% commitment or seriousness taken. So the day of the show, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to collect money from people, and my name was on the contract for the venue. So
you was getting people paid though too.
Yeah, that was the deal too. I was offering my artists, the venue was willing to pay me based upon ticket sales, and I told everybody in the group, hey, we all get 20 tickets. If everybody sells their 20, we all get $50. Like it ain't much, but that's equality as much as I can give.
Right.
And it ended up, it really did suck because my golden birthday on January, I went out to Bucks and I sold a majority of the tickets of other people's tickets. Like their fans were like, oh yeah, I've been trying to hit them up. Everybody knew about the show, but nobody knew who the fuck I was or that I was hosting it or anything like that. So that was kind of upsetting. But the day of the show, huge turnout. Like I said, way bigger than I expected, way bigger than the venue had expected. It was definitely like a great turnout. It was one of the first shows in Fargo Moorhead, our hip hop shows. There was no cops, no violence, no drama, no fighting, no nothing like that. And we had like a half-hour freestyle session where we told people from the audience to come up on stage. It was all good vibes, lots of networking. We had everybody in the VIP, shit like that. TAC wanted to keep doing shows with us and stuff like that. So, but as far as for me, I've done a couple more shows since then. I know you
stay active.
We were both at the Legalize It Fest.
Yep. Legalize It.
Right there,
we got a poster for that.
I got you on my wall over there, bro.
The wall of
Come on
fame.
now. That's how we all have that connection, man.
Zoom in on that poster quick.
Can you zoom in on that quick? Right there.
Yeah, that Legalize It Fest.
We did
first
that show
of its
together.
kind.
We did that show together. You know what I'm saying? We all connected. We all won. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a movement.
It was. But beyond that, not a whole lot. I'm working on getting a mixtape in the works. Should be coming out here soon. I got quite a few tracks on hold with other artists in the area. Taz, if you know Taz, that's my boy.
Okay.
GMC, I got a couple.
GMC. Shout out GMC. Yo.
Yeah.
That's my boy too. We've been in the lab doing quite a bit of work, so we're gonna release something here pretty soon. He does have an album release party on the 1st, I do believe, at the Aquarium.
Are you performing in that?
If I get my verses dropped on the tracks we have, then yeah, I will be performing.
Okay.
I'll be there supporting regardless, but yeah, I'm kind of doing that right now.
Yeah, that's good. You coming out to the shows regardless. I like hearing that.
Yeah, I try to come out as much as I can with my son and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know you said it's hard to make arrangements, but I do see you out at shows.
Yeah, I'm definitely, and even if I'm not at shows, that's the one thing people are unaware of. I'm always watching, anybody that does music in the Fargo Moorhead area, I've probably been friends with you on Facebook for years.
Some people don't even know. They're just like...
Yeah, like Breeze, when me and him met, I had actually filled out a job application on Facebook Jobs.
Yes.
What?
I remember this.
Yeah, he had an application up there for like an artist or like something to do with music.
Full-time audio?
Yeah, Pro Audio, full-time
nice.
musician. This was when I was still living up by Grand Forks, and I'm like, man, I just need to find somebody dedicated to make this happen. He's one of the only people that took it seriously.
Yeah.
Application, I had never met this man.
Yeah.
But I applied, filled out the application, did all that, and we were trying to work and stuff like that, and then
some life things happen, and we moving forward.
And then he's at my charity show, and he's like, I'm Breeze, and I'm all like, oh shit, what? And I'm like, how fun.
My man.
That's exactly how we met too, man. It's just so weird, like how that shit happens. Synchronicity, man. I gotta keep saying it, man. Synchronicity in this bitch.
Let him know.
Hey.
Everything is connected some way, somehow. It always finds its way to where it needs to be, man.
Right.
I mean, we talked for years, me and Palien. Like he went and did his own thing, and then we reconnected. But man, it's like you got to be in the atmosphere, is what I noticed.
Yep.
Yeah, and it has to be the right time because
gotta be out here.
How the universe works is nothing actually happens until it's actually supposed to happen.
Right.
And you just gotta be patient. Patience is a virtue, obviously. So you just gotta be patient, go with the flow. And stay positive, keep the positive mentality and just to assume that things are going to play out how they're supposed to play out, and they usually do, know?
Right.
And yeah, you might go through some bullshit, but that's life, good and bad.
Hey.
Welcome to life,
Right.
So, yeah.
Welcome to the life experience.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said.
Where you at right now?
We in the space pod.
Yo, we know that. We gonna beam back down to Earth. But when you get there, what you got going on?
Like I said, I was with Who Done It for years, and then we kind of split up, and the crew broke up when I was probably like 19, and then I was just doing
just a young buck.
Yeah, just doing the dad thing for a couple years, and then now I've kind of been trying to find like a team or like a unit ever since. You know, it's been kind of hard trying to get back into the swing of things without, you know, like I mess with everybody, you know, I fucks with everybody, but I don't really have a team. It's kind of just me and shit like that. Even that charity show I set up, all the flyers, the promo, everything I was doing by myself. Like me and Chuck and Focus even went out in blizzards and slapped up over 1,000 flyers all over the city. Yeah. Like,
yo, that was cool because that was Chuck's I think that was his first time performing on stage.
That was.
I remember talking to him right before he went on stage. Man, that was a moment in time, legendary shit. Now he's just grinding.
Yeah, and that's even with that show. What was so special about it to me was, you know, I know everybody in the area that's a part of music. You know, I know the real people in the area. You know, like and I know who's good and who's not and shit like that. I know who has clout, etc. But with that show, I said fuck all that, and I only wanted new artists or people that had never been heard before. That's why the whole lineup. You have, you know, people nobody had heard of or it had been their first show, and like Chuck and stuff like that. And everybody else was chosen, you know, I didn't make anybody pay to get on or nothing like that. So, I mean.
Man, that was dope, man. That was so special. I mean, I remember when I seen you out at that show, and man, I didn't even know who you was at first, because when you came in there, man, you was just running around so much energy, and like I was like, man, this guy cannot calm down right now. And not that you needed to, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't know you had all that going on with the show. I thought you was a part of it. You know, you really set that thing up, though.
Yeah, that's and that's a lot of things, you know, people don't understand about me or things I do is, you know, I'm a solo unit. Like, I take help. I take help when I need it or when it's given and stuff like that. But even then, you know, it's seldom and stuff like that. Like with that hip hop show, you know, Taz, he was a huge part of that homie right there. I didn't even know him barely at the time. I was just talking to Johnny Trenches, and I pulled up to him at a liquor store.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, hey, I rap with him. I was like, hey, I'm about to throw y'all on a charity show. You trying to get on? And then find out he lives down the street from me. But
nice.
I mean, he, right off the bat, just telling him about the show, he coughed out $400 or $500 to help me with.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even know the dude. He just coughed it out and was like, hey, bro, you're doing all this by yourself, like charity? Like, fuck that, bro. I got you. Just to help me with flyers and tickets and shit like that. And
yeah, what goes behind putting on a show? Let's talk about that. Because, I mean, you're not a promoter to begin with. A lot of us are not. But at the same time, we have to fill these roles.
Yeah.
You know, to get the paperwork out there, to get the interviews. I mean,
man,
what?
Going into, like, with that show, the first things first, you know, you got to come up with a theme or stuff like that. You got to find a date.
Like that.
Not only that, you have to call the venue and, you know, secure in that date. And, you know, a majority of the time, you have to have a deposit, you know, like TAC, you know, they charge freaking $1,500. Meaning, you know, you get a date, say July 4th, whatever. Before, you know, you even have the show set up, whatever, you need to give that deposit down for that date. So, I mean, right off the bat, before you even got a show going.
Sell no tickets, no nothing.
Yeah, right off the bat, you got like $1,000 you're coughing out for your show on maybe. You might get the money back, maybe. And then not on top of that, like with that show, I had all the tickets, you know, I could have done them online, but everybody likes solid tickets. So I actually went and made a template on my phone, went to Office Max, got them all lined up, had to pay freaking $80.
Jeez.
Love that. Office Max. Yo, shout out to Office Max. I got some of my first business cards back in my group TNT. We designed them at Office Max.
Yeah, they really do that thing. They helping me, you know what I'm saying? But even just, it was maybe like 100, 150 tickets right there is $80 just for the card stock and shit like that. Then I had to cut them all out by myself, and then, you know, I numbered them all. And
damn, that's basement cuts, dude. Like, that's underground hip hop. We love that.
And, you know, like, it even goes more so into it. Like, this was the first time with TAC. You know, this was the, like, first hip hop show they had done, except for the one y'all did on New Year's. But
yeah.
So, I mean,
first big show.
Right.
You know?
So, and if they were like debating doing hip hop shows anymore because of the turnout. So a lot of pressure was on me to make sure it looked good and I looked professional. So, I mean, like.
That's why you was running around like, yo, y'all ready? Y'all
ready
to go?
And, you know, especially as being a rapper or an artist, people don't understand, you know, like we got to uphold an image, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't be sitting there like, oh, yeah, you know, I don't know what's what, or I'm trying to figure this out, da-da-da-da-da. You got to act like you got it all together even when you don't. And, I mean, for that, like, I had 7 different artists.
Yeah,
and
you put that game face on, and it's not like it's hard for us to do that, but you just...
At the end of the...
2020 vision, you realize that, oh, damn, I did do that. I had to do that.
Right. And then doing all that, you know, it was... 7 different artists. I had all their tickets numbered 1 through 20. They all had a special mark on them. So I had to remember whose mark was what. I had to remember who the hell sold what. And then, you know, come the day of the show, you know, people aren't professional. Yeah. They aren't ready. They didn't have the tickets back, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And people just assume, like, oh, yeah, you're putting on a show, you know, like this shit's free or it's easy or something like that. And it's like, no, man, you know, the venue depends on me to give them X amount of dollars. If I promise and say, hey, you're going to have this amount of ticket sales and people don't come with the tickets, I got to cover that money, which is what I ended up having to do. And, you know, thanks to homies like Taz and shit like that, you know, like they had my back and shit. And but even before that, you know, it's promoting, figuring out set times, you know, and you got to make sure everybody has an equal, fair amount. You don't want to put somebody in the beginning that doesn't want to be in the beginning, and you got to worry about, you know, the ambiance, like what time, how hype it's going to be in the club, who's going on, when and where and what.
Right.
And then, I mean, that's all before the show, and then that's not even including flyers, promo, all stuff like that. And then, you know, you get to the day of, then you got to worry about, okay, the sound guy, then you got to worry about everybody having their sets on the right USB or an SD card or the phone, and there's always some motherfuckers that don't have their shit. Always somebody, and it's usually
technicalities.
Usually the people that are like the first 3 people, I swear, and it never seems to fail. Like the first couple of people, something's wrong with their set, or they need to have something because they're not there for sound check on time. And and that's another important thing. A lot of artists take as a joke or shit like that, like sound check. No, if you are,
it's pretty important.
If you are set to do a show and you don't know what time sound check is, you pull up to that motherfucker like 2-3 hours before and you get your shit in there like, hey, I want to do a sound check. You make sure your levels are Gucci, good to go.
Right.
Because that sound man has a job too. He needs to know, okay, this artist needs this amount of levels, this amount of bass, treble, whatever. You know? Yeah. And people don't take rehearsing seriously enough. Like you could be great if you just rehearsed. It's not hard.
A lot of people assume when it comes to the rap industry, you know, like, oh, hey, I can just slap a video on YouTube and I'm going to become a sensation. It's like, no, man, you know, a lot of these bigger people, when they do shows like Juicy J or Future, whoever, they have their own DJ that is specialized to their set. You know what I'm
Snappy
saying?
Roots did that too.
All of us are, you know, locally, a majority of us, we just
It's the local sound man who's like may or may not have a computer, may or may not have a flash drive.
Right. And you know, he's used to running it how, you know, like bands, they know what the hell they're doing. You know, you come in with a live band, they know all their levels, their volume, etc. They just got to tell them what to set it to. Us, we assume that like the sound guy's going to be our bitch. Like, you know, like, hey, if I need
just gonna read your mind.
Like, it doesn't work like that at all. And usually, what ends up happening is,
they get D's nuts, is what the fuck they get.
right.
Sound man represent. Come on, goddamn.
Yeah, like with the charity show, there was that, you know, very few, like 2 people showed up for sound check, and then Killa Cass, who's another local artist.
Shout out.
Yeah, she does a lot of live acoustic stuff.
Yeah, shout out Killa Cass, man. She's dedicated to just making music happen.
Right, and she was
taking pictures.
She was a part of the show, but she didn't know she was supposed to show up for sound check, and she had her acoustic and shit. And what ended up happening was the sound guy would have needed to know hours prior to the show in order to get all that arranged. So
that probably kind of fell through. But like, you live and you learn, right?
Yeah. It came to her set time, and then I had to tell her, like, you know, we can't, you know, I'll make the best of what can happen, you know. And even then, I'm still like hoping everything went for the
bugging
good.
out a little bit, you know.
Yeah, and it sucks all at the end of the day because, you know, people think like it's one person being unfair or, you know, like somebody's just being salty and shit like that. And there's like, no, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, if I do this one favor, then I'm gonna have to do a favor for somebody else, etc., etc.
Oh yeah, there's that. You know, you give an inch and people want to take a mile too sometimes.
Yeah, and the way I work, for me, it's about equality. You know, if you're trying to eat off my dinner plate, well then, A, you need to work how I work to get that dinner plate, or, you know, you need to meet me in the middle halfway. I'm not just gonna like, okay, you want this, I'll give it to you and hope for the best.
No handouts, man. That's how 50 Cent got in trouble. He was, you know, doing everything for his boys, and then when he left, they didn't know what to do. So,
yeah,
you know, as far as promotion and making his money with this music game. So,
yeah,
I feel you.
And then on top of, you know, that's all that just goes into, you know, creating a show. And then you forget the complete factor, like, hey, first most, I'm an artist. You know, and ended up being at that show, I chose to go last. And then come time, I didn't even have my own set ready on a USB because I was too worried about everybody else, making sure their shit was on point, etc. You know? Yeah,
that's where, you know, certain different types, like managers and concert event coordinators come in.
Yeah, there's so many different.
But we don't have that at a local level, so you got to respect the people who put it together.
Yeah, man, there's so much that goes in. You know, usually like somebody goes on a tour, there's a tour management. Or I mean, a tour manager. There's a bookie. There's a promoter. There might
be a 12 to 15 person squad just for one artist.
Yeah,
somebody who looks after what kind of shoes this person's gonna wear on stage. I mean, the most
dress coordinators. Thing. You know, those bigger artists like Prince.
Makeup. Yeah,
that shit's crazy. You know, there's so much that goes into it, and people, you know, they nitpick on artists or, you know, hate or do this or that because of small things that happen, and people don't realize all the effort and like energy an artist is putting into just getting their stuff ready so it can sound appropriate for you audiences. You know.
Yeah, everyone should have their own signature sound, and with that comes, you know, certain things that need to be set certain ways. You know,
and that's a lot of things, especially artists in this area don't understand. With you know, in the industry, it definitely takes money to make money.
Whoa, hey, hold on. Louder for the people in the back.
I said it takes money to make money.
What? Get it right. God damn it. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a fuck. Look, you can't freemium your way through life. Sometimes you got to invest in yourself. Have a little faith.
Yeah. And with that, you know, you investing in yourself. I'm not talking about getting somebody to get money to buy your way or some shit like that.
You mow yards, you do with the wash dishes, I don't give a goddamn. Just save, make it happen.
Exactly.
If you really want it, you'll either find a way or you'll find an excuse.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Hey, no joke,
That's all there is to it.
I love that.
No excuses.
Hey, no, for real though, man. I be on the grind, you know, doing whatever I got to do to get what's needed to be done to make this music shit happen because it's a passion to me, and eventually I want to make it a career, you know?
Hell yeah.
But for real, man, like, I love it, man. We need more collaboration around here, too.
Hey, ain't that the truth, man? Like, that is the biggest issue in the Fargo-Moorhead industry. I mean, the area with the music scene is...
You think it's just around here? You think it's just like this mentality in this genre? Or what do you think it really is, man? Why are people so stuck up about they think they're the greatest? Like, let's make great music, make a great scene, but, you know...
I mean, honestly, I definitely feel like part of it is due to the industry. You know, they've set up this imagery for, you know, like with Eminem and the rap god and the whole beef. And, you know, everybody essentially wants to be the best or get the title at something when it comes to the music.
Yeah, Palien, you touched on that before, too. Were you talking about everybody's trying to be the best? You know, we're supposed to be the one in rap.
No, you're not supposed... Okay, so in reality, in my opinion, you're not supposed to compete with someone. You're supposed to dominate the field that you're in. And that way, that person doing their thing does not affect your reality whatsoever. Like, you can do your shit, and I hope you do good at it. But I'm going to dominate the fuck out of my field.
Hey.
You know what I mean? And if you fall short, that's on you. You know? I'm not going to let that bother me, you know?
You just want to be the best at what you do, you know, and just push others to be great, too. Because real great people really push others to be great, like a leader.
Like Muhammad Ali, I am the greatest. He didn't mean that he's better than everyone. He says he's the greatest version of himself. You know?
Whoa.
Yeah. And there's many versions of one person. Like, there's the version that doesn't want to get up in the morning, is too lazy, doesn't want to do shit. Then there's the other version that's out here killing shit and grinding and hustling and making shit happen. Those are two different versions of yourself. We got many different versions, many different dimensions, layers. You know what I mean? Like, there's many layers to this reality, and that's what people don't realize. Like, there's timelines, there's layers, there's dimensional layers, there's fucking, you know, it's infinite.
You always talking about them timelines.
Yeah. Be on the right timeline. That's all I'm saying.
This guy is out of this world. You have no idea. Talk with them for one night.
You talk about some negative shit back, not on my timeline.
Right. Yeah, man. Fuck the negativity.
Who put this negative shit in my timeline?
Yeah,
Next.
right. Get that shit on my timeline. Yep.
Yeah, but, you know, you got some deep thought about it. I love it, man. I love consciousness. People who are aware they're alive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming seldom nowadays.
Just turn on MTV or BET or, you know, anything. Just walk outside your house, man. Like, look at the stuff they promoting.
Everything be breathing, though. Don't forget that everything is alive.
Hey,
I mean,
everything holds energy. If it holds energy, it means it's alive.
Like, the internet can be bad, but it can be good too. It's all about how you utilize.
Like, this fucking can is empty, but it's still alive. Because I'm holding it right now. I'm putting my energy. You know, we're conductors of electricity, obviously, and this is metal. So what do you think's happening right now? If I gave this to someone, would they not take out my energy? Would they not take some of my energy from this?
Well, just like your cars, you want to put good energy in.
Oh, that's about cars, man. You buy a used car, you better be smudging that shit. I'm just telling you, those things are walking.
Well, there's no murders in this van, I promise.
Well, I'm
gonna sell this van to you.
It's got rubber wheels, and the interior,
just like your shoes,
is rubber mostly, and then you got a steel frame, rubber, steel, and then you got electricity running through it. You know what I mean? It's an electric coffin. People don't realize that shit.
It'll keep you safe from an electric storm.
Right.
You know, like if electricity hits, you good.
But what I'm saying is you need to make sure that energy is good because that shit is trapped in there.
I'm telling you, this man will take you out to the nether realm when you talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
Palien got some info, bro.
Hey, I totally agree with that, though. I'm a found believer on energy. You know, everything.
Energies.
Everything is energy, you know. A while ago, I mean, a long time ago, I used to be religious, and then I got over the fact, and, you know, I've definitely composed my own version of reality and life and shit like that. But I've definitely found that, you know, everything is energy, and
yeah, that's the thing about it. It's not about going to church and things like that. Like, your church could be going to a concert once a week, listening to your music.
My friend.
That's what makes you better, where your faith is at, you know. But energies and things we can't explain, yeah, I believe in that. That's real.
Yeah.
I can't explain everything. You don't have to, though.
Yeah, we're not here to try to solve every single fucking problem and riddle. You know, we're just here to
riddle me this.
Learn, you know?
Yeah, right. We was talking about Batman before you got here.
Oh my God.
Shout out Jim Carrey. That motherfucker's deep, too.
Don't get me started on Jim Carrey, man. That guy, he manifested the fuck out of his life, so shout out to that guy. But then he found out that money and fame ain't everything. So
It ain't.
If you ain't happy, your money and fame don't mean shit. I don't care how powerful you are. If you ain't happy inside, that shit is temporary, first of all.
Right. What good is all the money in the world if you got no one to spend it with?
Exactly.
Feel you.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Hey, dog. It's been a pleasure.
We out here, SpacePodTV, with the one and only Dizzy D.
Dizzy D.
Yeah.
Season 3 continues.
Yep. All right, until next time, I'm your host, Palien Vasion. We got Breeze on the mix. We got LaSheriff behind the camera. We got Dizzy D right here. And we out.
Deuce.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a motherfucking second. Hold on a second. Bring that camera back on me real quick, man. I got something to say for y'all. Man. Hey, yo, DJ, drop that motherfucking beat real quick. Feel me? Yeah, Dizzy D in this motherfucker. SpacePodTV. Up in here with Breeze and Palien. Shout out. You know. Yeah, Dizzy D. Come fuss with me. You know what it is. We up in this bitch. Shout out 701. We getting it done. Hey. You know, I said it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I find myself alone. I get up and I walk around, but find the one that's home. I'm headed towards this basement, so slowly I descend. Got me surfing through this pavement till I find a little friend. If it's mine, then I'm fine, but if it's not, I just pretend. Cause a junkie's still a junkie, it don't matter what the blend. Gathering my shit, start packing my utensils. I'm sharpening my tip and I ain't talking about no pencils. Oh no, he's coming, I scream but hear no yell. Thinking it's a dream, what's going on, I cannot tell. Held hostage by some fiend, I'm about up out of hell. Parents trying to intervene to keep me clean, but I guess I fail. As I rethink my choices, I start hearing voices begging me to do it, and slowly I give in, crushing up my demon, feeling my syringe. Like why the fuck I be so foolish, do this to myself again, screaming out for help, knowing nothing's gonna change, cause that boy who make good choices will just never be the same. Reaching for my belt, then I quickly make a loop. All my problems start to melt soon as I let the vapors loose. Ask me if I'll ever give a fuck enough to give it up and quit the stuff like how now, bitch, I probably doubt it, cause you know a nigga always rounded, and if I ain't the one that found the supply, bitch, I'll probably be the one that got it. And you know, Dizzy D, don't fuck with me, cause first it's just a prick, a hit so quick you're out of breath, coughing uncontrollably from toxins in my chest. That rush hits me hard, my body burns within, my heart keeps feeling empty and tensions filled with sin. Now I'm making noises on the ground with my new best friend, and I do not hear a sound, and I know this is the end. And now I feel amazing, yes, all my spirits lifted, I realize what I'm tasting and know that I'm addicted. Bitch, Dizzy D, you just got addicted to what I did, literally. Hey, come fucks with me. Shout
Dizzy D in a Space Pod exclusive.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. In the 701, do it for the humans. I be on the come up, do it for the humans. And I'm making them buzz, do it for the humans. So I'm taking over, better make a note of it. In the 701, do it for the humans. I be on the come up, do it for the humans. And I'm making them buzz, do it for the humans. So I'm taking over, better make a note of it.